Hey kids, this is Jason again. I'm just coming at you with a basic overview of FPV goggles. This is actually for a friend of mine in Northern California who's new to the hobby, and I think everybody in this FPV community, we have a pretty good reputation for just helping people out and trying to get more people in the air. And like I told Jim this today, it's best hobby going. So in any way that I can help anybody or push somebody in the right direction, then I think that's great. And that goes for other people too. Some people have helped me along the way as well. So he just had some questions. He just got into it, like I said, and got a couple quads and doesn't have any goggles yet. So he was asking me some questions about goggles. And since I have quite a few pair, I figured I'd give a very quick beginner rundown. None of this is super technical. It's just nice basic information for people that are looking to get into it and affordably for cheaper goggles and more expensive goggles, and what certain things do, what certain things don't. Because I think online there's a lot of reviews about a goggle or just physical styles, but I'm just going to go through what I have, and if that helps Jim or other people, then rock and roll. My first set of goggles ever were these. These are Fat Shark teleporters, which are probably about the worst goggle on the market. I'm surprised I even stayed in the hobby with these. My eye cups are missing. They're somewhere. I think they're on my desk in the house. The video resolution, it's like looking at a freaking Atari game from the 80s. It sucks. The reception's good, but what I actually use these for now, they were very cheap. They're like $250. These are the Teleporter V5s, I believe. I keep them on my bench, and I use them for testing. And they're great for that. Like if I'm building a new quad, I will plug them in. And obviously, you're not going to be able to see anything through there. Looks like a bag of ass. I mean, seriously, very pear-shaped. Like looking at an old Pac-Man game. But for testing frequencies or just testing to make sure, troubleshooting my transmitters for my FPV, it's great. These have no DVR. They have no bells and whistles. I think they do have a head tracker. Yeah, they have head tracking built in, which nobody ever uses. Even for beginners, these came out a few years ago. They're cheap, but not nearly as cheap as some really better goggles. I mean, these things are not worth their weight in a pile of crap. They're really not. Don't buy these, but this is your entry level Fat Shark. Fat Shark, in my opinion, are extremely overpriced for what they are. I will probably never buy another pair of Fat Shark again. These guys were the leader back in the day, and still are, obviously, because they came out with a style. The goggle style where you've actually got the two lenses, and they're very form-fitting. They have not kept up with technology. They're exorbitantly priced. Good Fat Sharks will cost you $500, and I think even then you still have to buy the receivers and stuff. So don't buy Fat Sharks. Unless it's just one of those things where you want to be popular and be just like everybody else and have Fat Sharks, then buy Fat Sharks. But other than that, don't do it. But for bench testers, great machines. Then we've got, I'm not going in any specific order here. These are your box style goggles. Okay. These are Eachine, EV800s or something of that nature. These are actually great. I bought these when they came out. I think they were $100. These are non-diversity, just like those Fat Sharks I showed you. They have one antenna. So this is an omnidirectional right-hand polarized antenna. That's what I use on everything. These have amazing video resolution for what they are. They were $100, and I think you can buy them now at the time I'm videoing this for like $59 or something. They're actually phenomenal goggles. They fit very, very well. I have horrific eyes, absolutely horrible eyes. I'm blind as a bat, but I wear contacts or I wear glasses. Just depends on my mood that day. These are, I don't think you can wear glasses with these, but you cannot adjust the Fresnel lens inside. But I haven't had a problem with them. They focus absolutely perfect for me. A very immersive screen. I mean, this thing's like sitting in a movie theater. 5-inch, I think it's a 5-inch screen. My buddy Ian has these. He loves them as well. They pop apart. This is, I don't know anybody that ever uses it this way, but The whole screen gizmo comes off. You can mount it to a tripod out in the field, so you can use it for a FPV monitor and still keep a real eye on your plane. With quadcopters, you don't usually do that. But if you're flying planes, FPV, sometimes that's a nice thing to do. And I've crashed a few planes in my life. So I hotwired a DVR into this. This is a piece of crap DVR. It has horrible resolution, but it does serve its purpose. Back in the day, I think somebody sent it to me for a review. That's why I have it on there. This one does not have built-in DVR, which is digital video recorder. DVR, the most helpful thing DVR does for you is if you're out in the field and you're flying and you're recording. And if you have DVR in your goggles, do this. Record every flight. Whether you think somebody's going to see it or not is irrelevant, because if you crash, when you're flying FPV, you're hauling ass usually, and you're sometimes in areas that you're not familiar with. I travel for a living, so when I go flying, I'm usually out where Jesus lost his sandals nowhere, and I wasn't paying attention, and I crashed in 6 feet of grass 20 feet away where there's some troll under a bridge, and I don't know where the hell I'm at. You can, if you're recording that, you can play back your DVR, and you can watch in slow motion or even regular motion where the hell you crashed, and it will definitely help you find your quad. I can't stress that enough. Even if you're just going for a very boring flight, you're just getting out of the house or whatever, record it. Because if you get stuck in a tree, it helps you find where you are in the tree. With today's day and age with goggles, I strongly recommend. They're so cheap now and so good for what you buy. I mean, it used to be 2 years ago, you had to spend $500 for crap. Now you can spend $100, actually less than that, and get great goggles. They might be box style, but my friend Ian actually prefers these because they are more immersive. It's like sitting in a movie theater, whereas you get into the goggle style, like the Fat Shark style, and it's a narrower field of view. I mean, they're still cool and they're still immersive. It's just what you get used to. I fly with normal goggles most of the time, not box style. I like box style, but it does take a little getting used to. But I think bang for the buck, box style are the way to go. They're so much cheaper. They're more immersive. They have a bigger screen, and they usually have better resolution. And they're a shit ton cheaper than buying goggles almost every time. These 0800s here, 008s, excuse me, whatever the heck these are. The padding's great on them. Beautiful, beautiful goggle. They have a built-in battery. It's the only drawback I don't love, but the battery lasts quite a long time. I've never had it run out on me. There is a new version of these now. I'm terrible with numbers. Don't ask me the name, but it's got diversity. So you've got an antenna here, and DVR built in. And I think it even comes with the right antennas, because usually they come with shitty-ass little dipole antennas, which never work right. And I think they're $89. These have dropped down to $59. So if you really want to get good goggles with good resolution, built-in diversity, you cannot go wrong with getting the new version of these for $89. My friend in Serbia, Nick, shout out to you. He has a pair of the upgraded version of these, and he says they're phenomenal. And I'm still waiting for him to do a review on those. Please do a review on those so I can see what they're like, because I'm debating about getting a pair too, just because I'm a geek and I want to try them out. Pretty awesome. I strongly recommend these. I've never found they're made well. I've never found a thing wrong with these. Never had an issue. They have auto scan, which is nice, or you can manually select the channel and band. So if you're new to the hobby and you're not sure what the hell you're doing, and a lot of times you're new to the hobby, you're flying alone, so you don't give a shit what channel you're on or band you're on. I never did. You can just hold down the search button over here, and it'll just find the strongest signal, and bada bang, you'll be in business. That's really nice to have too. So these things are just the cat's ass. They're really nice. What's next up on the docket? Hang on. These are, what are these? Eachine VRD2s. They do have a built-in DVR. It's okay. They do have diversity. You can see the two antennas. Here's the difference, and this is just layman's terms. I'm not going to get technical about it. If you have single antenna, You do not have diversity. If you have two antennas, you have one of two types of diversity. You either have antenna diversity, which is better than just having one antenna, but not great, or you have true receiver diversity, where you have a receiver in each side, like Fat Sharks do, or these, or my Boss Cams do, and you'll get much, much better reception. You fly with diversity, chances are really good you'll never go back to a single antenna. Trust me on that. Usually what you'll do, not always, is you use a Cloverleaf antenna, which is an omnidirectional, and you'll use a patch antenna. This is a generic YKS, whatever the hell that is. And you'll put your patch here. Patch is unidirectional, so it has a spread spectrum. So it's looking like this. This is looking like a donut. It's radiating out, okay? So unless you're right above this antenna, that's the only time you get shitty reception usually. A patch, however, is unidirectional. So unless, like if you're facing your quad's flying out here, woohoo, in front, you're going to get killer reception through this patch. You fly off to the side, this patch doesn't even see it, okay? Patch is really good for long distances and things like that. It has its purpose. I have heard of guys, and I've tried it too, actually, running an omnidirectional or cloverleaf on each one, and they bend over one this way and keep one straight. I don't know. I haven't really noticed a huge difference with that, because I either fly in my yard, in my area here where there's a ton of trees and it sucks anyway, or I fly out in the great wide open. So we're going to do some antenna testing here in the near future. These I don't necessarily recommend. I think they fit okay. They're not nearly as nice as the Eachines. The Fresnel lens is not adjustable, but then neither was this one. The Fresnel lens is what magnifies the image, by the way, in case you don't know. But with these, I did have major problems trying to get it to focus properly for my eyes. Now, your eyes might focus perfect, but the problem is, unless you know somebody that has these, how do you know? Didn't love it. The menu layout on these really sucks. It's not intuitive. They're kind of buggy. I don't know. I really don't like these that much. If anybody wants to buy these, I'll sell them really cheap. I just have them for testing purposes. But they're a good goggle. They have a good screen. They have good resolution. The reception isn't bad. But I think they cost even more than... I know they cost more than these do, and these blow them out of the water. So I don't know why you wouldn't just get these. Actually, I think these still cost more than the upgraded version of this that has diversity. So yeah, it's kind of silly. But anyway, this one has diversity. It has a 3-point harness, which most of your head-style goggles do, or your box-style goggles, sorry. The battery in this one, I do not like this so much, but it plugs into here, uses a Fat Shark style battery, which has a barrel connector on the back, like here. And it plugs into here. I don't know if this battery is any good. Yeah, it is. And then it slides into the back here. Now, the thing that is nice about that is it helps balance. You don't have it hanging off your head like a Fat Shark. Like I said, I wouldn't buy these, really, if I were you. They're welder sticker there. Not worth it. Not in my opinion. Another set. I don't even know where I got these. These are called UFOs. UFO FPV. These are diversity. I think they're antenna diversity. They're extremely Chinese. The menu layout's very goofy in them. They have good reception for the most part. They have a decent resolution. The nose cutout's terrible. The menu layout's really hokey. I think these are sent to me for a review, or I don't know. I think I've used them once. They're okay. The thing about light leakage, you hear guys talk about that a lot. I don't have huge issues with light leakage. Well, this is pretty bad, but say these Eachines. When you put these on, you're probably going to have, even with a beak like mine, you're probably going to have a little bit of light leakage right here. When you're wearing a box style, you don't even notice it. I mean, box styles, they're so immersive, and it's like sitting in a cinema that you don't even know. This is brighter than the light coming in. 99.9% of the time, you don't even notice it. On a goggle style, you notice it. So you do not want light leakage. Fat sharks usually, well, not all of them, but some of them have eye cups that go around here. I don't have one to show you. And they seat up against your eyes, which makes your eyes sweat. Again, kind of so-so. So light leakage, even with goggles, if I have a little bit, it doesn't bother me. Some people really bitch up a storm about it. It's never really affected me a whole lot. So that's about it for those. Let's go to these. These are my backups. These are my Fat Shark Attitude V2s that I have JSONified into basically a Fat Shark Attitude V3 kinda. What I mean by that is picture these without this frame and without the fan. That's what a V2 looks like. You can buy this piece off of Amazon, I believe, for like $20 or something like this. And how it works, this one came with cups too, just like this one did. And this replaces the cups. Take the cups off. You find a way to fix this on here. I siliconed mine on. It doesn't look real pretty, but it works. And this fan will blow air down these little cooling vents. When you're flying when it's really hot or you're flying when it's really cold, this will defog your lenses. This little fan's worth its weight in gold. Don't buy goggles without a fan. Now, these, you don't usually have issues. You know, box style, you usually don't have goggles fogging up this style. At least I haven't. Maybe in the dead winter here in Ohio where it gets butt cold. Yeah, sometimes. These will. But you click that little fan button right there, bada bing. She goes really well. And then every time you hit it, I think it adds 8 minutes or something to that nature. These are great. These are my backups, and they have saved me a few times. I really like these. They work well. They have really good reception. Fat Shark batteries notoriously suck. So if you do buy Fat Sharks, get this guy. This is a Fat Shark battery case. And what this does, this takes e-cigarette batteries. That's what I call them. What is it? Samsung 18650s. These are so much better. You can buy this thing for $17. It has a little light meter on it to tell you, I can't see it in the camera, to tell you what the charge is on these. They last 3 to 4 times longer than the typical Fat Shark crap batteries, and these do suck. Just when Fat Shark, they charge you $400 or $500 for goggles, and then their batteries are a bag of ass. Just throw them away. That's how bad they suck. Buy this for $17. Buy a couple of the batteries are usually like $3 a piece. How you charge these? There's a big misconception on the internet. You just plug this in to basically a charger like this. And you put it on standard charge, on LiPo charge, not balance charge. You cannot charge these from the balance connector. And then when you're charging it, this actually has a board in it that balance charges it. I've seen people that have reviewed these saying, oh, you have to use a separate charger for the batteries individually. That's crap. You do not. You plug it into a barrel lead like this, stick it on a XT30 or whatever, 60, whatever you're using, plug it into your charger and just put it on normal LiPo charge, and this will balance itself. Anyway, that's not topic. Buy one of these and get a Fat Shark. These, I do like them. These are my first real good Fat Sharks. They have decent resolution, like I said, decent reception. I use pagoda-style antennas, far view. I make these myself. I did a build video on these. I believe in supporting this company. I think they're great. I buy these for like $6 a kit, and I make them myself, and they just work absolutely phenomenal. Right-hand circular polarized. I use these on everything from my quads to my goggles, you name it. I'd stick it on my wife's dog if it would make the damn thing any smarter. But hence the stickers, Farview. Love the company. I believe they're in Utah, so they do good work. So support them. Spend $6 buying them. If you buy these pre-made on Amazon or whatever, 9 times out of 10, they suck. I have a friend that bought some, and they suck. He ended up using one of my homemade ones, one of these, and it worked a lot better. I love these, but I bought them off eBay, and I bought them used. I'm not broke. I can afford goggles, but I just couldn't see spending $350 for And that's for the Attitudes. If you go into the higher end Fat Shark goggles, they're like $500. I'm like, that's stupid. I'd rather spend $500 on something else. So I bought these for like, I don't know, I can't remember what I paid for them, but they're mint condition. These right here are the IPD adjustments. So if you have a narrow ass head, you put, like mine, you put them all the way in. If you got wide eye short bus head, you can move them all the way out. And for most people that works, and it does help you focus. Or if you got one of those pitch eyes that kind of shoots out that way, that helps for those too. These have no DVR either, but the menu is very good to use. The nice thing about goggle style, this is goggle style, not box, is like when you crash or you're walking around the field with your buddy or whatever, and you put these up on your forehead like sunglasses so you can walk around, it's nice. These suck. You look like a bobblehead and you feel like a bobblehead because you're walking and it's going like this. These are definitely more comfortable in that regard. Believe it or not, though, these big old dudes, these Eachine 008s, are very comfortable to wear. But you stick them off the top of your head, it's like you got your human diving board. So these are definitely, if you're going to go jogging, don't use this. You get a concussion. Use these. These are my backups, like I said. I think they're great, but they're not worth it. I think if these were $200, it'd be a great deal. For $350 for the Attitude, I believe it's the V4 special edition or whatever they are. That's stupid. I'm sorry, $350 for something that has the same technology as this, except it has DVR in it. It's stupid. Don't do it. So that's that. The ones I use the most, and I did a review on these already, so I'm not going to go into it real deep, are my Boss Cam GS 922s. These have diversity, wicked reception. They have built-in DVR, which the micro SD card goes right in there. And they have this, well, thanks to my modification, they have this nice big boot on them. And you can actually wear these with glasses, which I don't. But they are just very comfortable. But the other thing that I didn't even put in the review about these, when you wear this big-ass eye cup, this big eye condom here, this one doesn't fog up either. I fly these all the time with my buddy, and when we're, it's 90 degrees out, and ignore the Lumineer sticker. These are not Lumineers. And I've never had a fogging issue, and these don't have a fan. So this cup is pretty ingenious. It's very soft. It's comfortable. These are extremely light. They have the built-in diversity. They have, which, like I said, the reception is great. The DVR footage is great. I love how that works on these. The menu's not too hateful. The comfort's really good on these, and they're cheap, reasonably cheap. I mean, for what they are. These have a really good resolution with good DVR, and I think they're under $300. I like these a lot, but if you watch that video that I did, you do have to modify these a little bit. And there are some shortcomings to them, but these are my main goggles, and these are my backup. I carry both these in my backpacks at all time. These are just leftovers from yesteryear. So that's it. That's basically the basic rundown on goggles. If you're looking for affordable, go with a box style. Like I said, the upgraded version of this guy, just go to Banggood or wherever and just type in Eachine and look for this. Only it's got the diversity. It's got 2 antennas and DVR. It's $89, or you can buy this one for $59 if you don't care about DVR. I'd spend the extra $30. I would. You get diversity plus DVR plus an awesome box. I mean, it's just next to a peep show. This is the best vision you'll ever get in a box style. There are the Aomway Commander V2s and Commander V1s, which are way better than Fat Shark, and those are also like $350. I don't have a pair of those yet because they're about as rare as plutonium in the circus. So you can't find those. Once I do, I probably will get some and then sell these and use these for my backup or whatever, because those Aomways seem to be just the cat's ass. Everybody says they're awesome. As for antennas, like I said, Pagoda, what I use. This is a Pagoda style antenna. Watch my build video on this if you want to know more about them. This is your old standby Cloverleaf, Aomway style. I recommend wrapping these in some silicone RTV and letting it harden. Keeps you in tune. And then you've got your patch antenna, which we already talked about. This is unidirectional, omnidirectional, and this is omnidirectional. Pay attention. These Pagoda antennas are also right hand circular polarized, hence the RHCP, and also left hand circular polarized. So same thing as these. Make sure you're getting the right gear, because right hand does not play well with left hand. You have to have right hand on your transmitter and right hand on your receiver, or left and left. You cannot mix and match. No good math there. Most things, hang on, come with these little shits, which people call them rubber duckies, or they're actually a dipolar antenna. Oh, wow, look at that. Modified. Piece of crap, get rid of it. Now, a couple myths about antennas. People think that if you have a quad, like this is a micro brushed quad, but it doesn't even matter, with a dipole antenna, you cannot use a circular pole antenna on your FPV goggles. That is a myth. I never change the antenna on my goggles. I always use circular polarized, either pagodas or these. And on all my micros, I run these dipoles. I do not run omnidirectionals on any of my micros because dipoles hold up better. The transmitting distance isn't as good. Reception isn't as good when you're flipping around, but they hold up a hell of a lot better in crashes. So I use these on all my micros, whether it's a brush micro or any little quad. On my real quads, like this guy, I use my pagodas, obviously. So that's kind of a standard thing. Make sure you match right to right and left to left. And then you got RPSMA and RSMA and all this other crap. SMA and RPSMA. That's just connector style. Make sure you know what you're doing with connector styles. And this isn't, I don't want to get real in depth with this. This is just a basic overview of FPV goggles. What's out there? I don't have everything that's out there, obviously. But I have a few, and I've tried quite a few. And, go with what looks good. Go with what your needs are. I've always been one to do what I want to do. Do what works for you. Just because everybody has a friggin' Fat Shark doesn't mean Fat Sharks are the best for you. Personally, I would pitch both these in the toilet for my boss cams. That's just me, though. Some people just swear up and down by their Fat Shark Dominators. Personally, I think these are better than Fat Sharks when it comes to comfort, when it comes to your clarity. They're not as comfortable bouncing around in your head, like I said. But, I just don't see it. I don't see, if I wouldn't have found these in such good shape used for cheap, I would not even own these. I love them, but I would not pay $350 for Attitudes. I would not pay $500 for Dominators. I think it's ridiculous when you can buy Amway Commanders that have better reception, better DVR, built-in diversity for $350, and to even come close to that with a Fat Shark, you're paying $5.50. Stupid. But that's my opinion. Everybody's got opinions. So that's just the gist of it. If you have any questions, I went over it fast, but goggles are probably one of the most expensive things you're going to invest in. Quadcopters in the long run are, because if you're like me, you build tons and tons and tons and tons of them, and it adds up. But your goggles are more personal, because you're wearing them and you get used to the field of view. Is it a 30-degree field of view? Is it a 120-degree field of view? Is it what kind of screen size is it? And I didn't even get into that because that's a whole nother devil. And if you're new to it, you're not even going to notice the screen size anyway, as far as 14:9 or whatever. But go with what works. Research it. Anything above 840 on resolution for most of us is a waste of time because your FPV camera isn't shooting that high res. So don't go for HD goggles unless you're doing digital transmission. Just stick with 840 and below on the resolution. That's the one thing I do look at. I will not go with, these are like 300 by 4 crapola, don't do that crap. And I would definitely go diversity with DVR if you can. Like I said, $89. The upgraded version of this gives you everything you need in one shot. My buddy over in Serbia loves them. I think for the money, they're fantastic. And then save up, fly, get used to things, and then buy the Amways for $350 a year from now, or bite the bullet and buy Fat Shark crap, or buy Boss Cam crap, or whatever. If you have any questions at all and I can help, I know I've rambled on this, but I just thought for Jim it might be a good video to see. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below. And as always, keep the shiny side up. Take care. Bye-bye.